Some of the most difficult words for me to hear as a retirement planner are, I claimed my Social Security way too soon, and I wish I would have waited. Because by that point, coming to me, it's way too late. And honestly, listen, I get it. There's no judgment here. It's your money. You've worked hard. You're ready to retire, and you want to enjoy that money now. Or maybe you're nervous Social Security could run out. We'll cover that later in this video. So what do? You rush to claim it as soon as possible. But listen, I've seen far too often how that one choice to claim early could end up quietly costing you tens of thousands of dollars or more each year in retirement, or even worse, if you're married, that decision can also jeopardize your spouse's survivor benefits after you pass. I'm Nick Covio, a fee-only certified financial planner and founder of Swell Financial, and I have helped hundreds of people in this exact same spot navigate this decision with clarity and with confidence. And here's what I've observed, here's what I've learned, is the decision on when to claim Social Security is way more than just, I want my money now and I'm okay taking a smaller check. See, what we have to take into consideration is it's far bigger than that. Because this decision is going to impact how much you'll eventually receive when your benefits are adjusted for inflation. It'll end up, as we mentioned earlier, reducing your spouse's survivor benefits and ultimately going to put unnecessary pressure on your investments if you're getting now a smaller amount. That's a lot to consider. So in this video, we're going to walk through what you can do differently, a smarter alternative strategy, and why knowing your numbers and where Social Security fits into your plan, not anybody else's, why that can be one of the single best financial moves you will ever make in your retirement journey. So without further ado, let's go ahead, dive on in. Now, before I show you how to make the smartest Social Security decision for you and your situation, I want to start by diving a bit deeper into the factors that many people fail to realize before taking their benefits. The first mistake that I commonly see is underestimating how permanent and multifaceted your benefit reduction truly is. There's a lot of layers to it. We'll first start by saying Social Security is a permanent decision. And once you choose when to collect, you are now locking in that benefit for life. And for most Americans, Social Security represents a significant portion of their retirement income. It's what I like to call guaranteed income. And if you've watched any of my videos, then you know that I like to say that retirement planning, it's one big math equation. It's the guaranteed money that you have coming in, Social Security being one of those, minus your living expenses. And now, when that income, that guaranteed income amount is now lower because you've claimed earlier, can you guess what it does? Places a lot more stress on your investment portfolio to be able to provide more income to make up that difference. Another factor we have to consider is inflation. Whether you know it or not, Social Security, you get a raise each and every year. Some years it's more, some years it's less, but it's actually pegged to the real rate of inflation. And so here's why it's important. If everyone gets the same percentage increase, who do you think wins? Who comes out with more money? It's those with the larger benefits. So if we have a lower starting amount, then that means our cost of living raises are smaller too. Give you a small example here. If we have a $1,000 Social Security payment and all of a sudden inflation ramps up to 10%, guess what? Next year, you're going to get the cost of living adjustment at 10%, so you now have $1,100. Alternatively, if you waited and let's say your benefit's $2,000, we still have that same 10% cost of living adjustment. We now get $2,200. That's a $200 increase. It's quite literally double. And here's what most people fail to realize is that damage, it compounds over time. As inflation rises and your benefits are adjusted upwards each and every year, starting with a smaller base benefit means you fall further and further behind. And in a world where groceries, healthcare, housing keep getting more and more expensive, that benefit amount, what you're starting with, matters so significantly. Second mistake is failing to realize that your decision to take benefits early hurts more than you. It's also your spouse's financial future. If you're married, your Social Security decision is more than just about your own paycheck. And whether you know this or not, your spouse and vice versa is eligible for the higher of either 100% of their own benefits or 50% of your benefit. This is true even if they've never worked, or maybe they have worked, but they just don't have enough credits to be eligible. Marriage is about working together. Same thing applies for Social Security. And if your spouse is relying on your Social Security, guess what? Your decision of when to claim also impacts them. So if you claim early, guess what? Their benefits reduced just as well. Now, that's just their benefit. Let's talk about survivor benefits because that falls in the same category. If you pass away first, your spouse will receive your full benefit. And that benefit, if you've chosen to take it early at 62, 63, it's now permanently lower, and now they get that amount. And so what ends up happening, once you're no longer in the picture, there's a big income gap. There's no longer two Social Security checks. There's just one. It's going to be the higher of the two that's coming in, but this creates a lot of tension, especially if someone is outliving their partner by 10, 15 years. Mistake number 3 is failing to see the opportunity cost of claiming early. I'm not sure if you knew this or not, but Social Security benefits, they grow by about 8% a year when you delay past your full retirement age, usually 66, 67. Oftentimes that's better than the market. The best part is it's guaranteed. Now, unfortunately, it also works the other way in that for every year you claim before that magic number, full retirement age, that is, your benefits are reduced by 8% as well. And looking at the chart here, if you decide to claim as early as 62, that's a 30% haircut. Again, for life. So we got to make sure you have a plan. I think I've hammered home the point now on why claiming at 62 is such a costly mistake. We need to make sure we have our numbers in order. And so what I want you to do is to click on the link in the description below, and I'll send you a personalized Loom video analyzing your specific situation and where Social Security may fit into your plan. So what's the better approach, and what should we do instead of claiming early at 62? Well, in my opinion, the better question that we should be asking is, what are we trying to solve for using your Social Security? Is it maximizing your retirement income today, here and now? Is it maximizing your lifetime benefits? Or is it spousal protection with survivor benefits? Or is it creating a gap or a window and delaying benefits for tax planning or health insurance? Now, this is that golden window I talk about in a bunch of other videos, where now that you're retired, your income is nearly non-existent. Let's say you're retired, you're no longer working, you're delaying Social Security, so you have no income on paper, and now you have this window where you could choose whether or not you want to do a Roth conversion if it's appropriate, or if you want to keep your income intentionally lower to qualify for premium tax care credits for healthcare pre-65. That's your call. But the beautiful thing here is by having that flexibility, by optimizing your Social Security and therefore your retirement plan, you have that flexibility. Golden window aside for a moment, let's say maybe your most important factor in your retirement plan is caring for your spouse and maximizing those survivor benefits. Well, let's look at how to organize that approach, because that decision of where we're going to claim Social Security for ourselves or when our spouse decides to claim, there's a lot of moving pieces. And so if that's number one and most important, let's dive through a couple examples of how that timing and the sequence of that looks. What I want to showcase is the difference between taking it at 62, 67, and 70, and how being a married couple, there's a lot of moving pieces here. So in our case, Frank and Joy, there's our decision of taking it at 62. And what we could see here is when Frank decides he's the breadwinner to take it at 62, his benefit's now $2,500. Joy is going to be half of that, roughly. When Frank passes away, she now gets whatever his amount was at 62 that's adjusted in 2059, multiple years down the road. So remember that number, 2930. Here's the reduced benefit at 62. Now, another strategy is, okay, what if Joy goes first, Frank delays till 70? Two things are happening here. Once Frank begins collecting, guess what? Joy gets to add her spousal benefit, and it moves from $965 to $1,370 right around the time she turns 70, or basically when Frank begins collecting at 70 for him. So she immediately gets a raise. He's deferred, but here's the most important thing is, should Frank pass away first, now his Social Security is gone, but what happens to Joy? Her survivor benefit gets stepped up to the cost of living adjusted amount that now Frank would have been receiving. See how big that is? That's $4,400 versus $2,900. That's like a $1,500 difference just right there. This last benefit amount is, what if they both waited till 70? And you could see, great, Joy gets about $1,700. Frank, $4,400. Survivor benefit is about the same. And so a number of different strategies. And so it goes so much deeper than just what are my benefits today. It impacts what will my spouse get? How do we collectively put together our income today, throughout retirement, and then after one person passes away? Now I want to talk about the elephant in the room. There's an elephant here. No, it's Social Security. Because I hear all the time that Social Security is going to go bankrupt and therefore I need to get my money now. So I'm going to throw all caution to the wind, all planning to the wind. I'm going to get my money now. Terrible advice. Is it true that current estimates state that Social Security trusts are projected to be depleted by 2035? Yes, but that's usually where the headlines end. But we also know that payroll taxes, yes, payroll taxes, the things coming out of your paycheck, those taxes, they account for 83% of the scheduled benefits because Social Security, it's a pay-as-you-go system. So there is always going to be money coming into that. There are ways that we could fix it. One, we raise the full retirement age. The second, we could raise the tax cap. Right now, you're not paying Social Security or paying into Social Security after you make $176,100. With today's cost of living, that seems pretty low. That means anyone making over $200,000, those wages over $176,100 aren't being taxed at the same rate. So people, when we work with clients, they say, hey, somewhere around June, July, why did I get a raise? No, you didn't get a raise. You're just no longer paying into Social Security because you hit the cap. And so really easy fix, just raise the tax cap. Or last part here is means testing, which means if we have retirees who have 5, 10, 15, 20 million dollars, what do they need to have Social Security for? These are just a couple suggestions here, but the point being is Social Security, and watching this video, is way too important of a decision to make based off of fear and thinking that it's going to run out. You need to be able to understand how Social Security fits into your overall plan. If you want help optimizing your Social Security strategy, or if something I shared in this video resonated with you, know that it would be an absolute honor and a privilege for you to consider working with us. As a reminder, we work best with clients who are on the doorstep of retirement, who have questions around how do I lower my taxes? How do I simplify my investments? How do I align my spending with what brings me and my family the most joy, purpose, and fulfillment out of life? Thank you again for taking the time to watch my video, and I'll see you at the next one.